Ever wonder what it was like to walk the streets of Ann Arbor back in 1968? It wasn't just another college town. It was the epicenter of a cultural earthquake, a place where the quiet hum of academia met the roar of revolution. Let us take a journey back in time and explore what Ann Arbor was really like during that pivotal year. Picture this. You step onto the diag at the University of Michigan. It's not just students rushing to class. It's a buzzing hub of energy and debate. This was the heart of student activism. The Students for a Democratic Society, or SDS, wasn't just a name in a history book. It was born right here. They were organizing, protesting, and challenging everything. The Vietnam War was raging, and on campus, the anti-war movement was a powerful force. Teach-ins, sit-ins, and passionate speeches were daily occurrences. You could literally feel the tension and the desire for change in the air. The university wasn't just a place for learning. It was a battleground of ideas, a place where young people were finding their voice and demanding to be heard. But the activism wasn't confined to politics. A whole new way of life was emerging. This was the dawn of the counterculture. Walk down State Street or South University Avenue, and you'd see a different world taking shape. Long hair, bell-bottoms, and tie-dye weren't just fashion statements. They were symbols of a break from the past, a rejection of the mainstream. The air was filled with the sounds of rock and roll, with bands like MC5 and the Stooges electrifying local venues with their raw, high-energy performances. These weren't just concerts. They were tribal gatherings, celebrations of a new, rebellious spirit. Coffee shops and head shops started popping up, becoming sanctuaries for poets, artists, and thinkers. Places like the Canterbury House weren't just serving coffee. They were hosting folk singers and beat poets, creating spaces where creativity and conversation flowed freely. It was a time of immense artistic expression. People were experimenting with art, with music, and with new ways of living together. Communes and co-ops became part of the local landscape, as young people sought to build communities based on shared values of peace, love, and equality. This hippie movement wasn't just about dropping out. It was about creating an alternative, a more authentic way of life. Of course, this explosion of youth rebellion didn't happen in a vacuum. It often clashed with the more traditional, conservative elements of the city. There were tensions between the long hairs and the establishment, between the students and the city administration. The police were a constant presence, and confrontations were not uncommon. The struggle for civil rights was also a major part of the story. Activists were fighting for racial equality, and groups like the Black Action Movement would soon lead major strikes on campus, demanding change and greater representation. Ann Arbor in 1968 was a city of contrasts, a place of intense conflict, but also incredible hope. So, why does 1968 still matter today? Because the events of that year shaped Ann Arbor's identity in profound ways. The legacy of activism, the commitment to social justice, and the vibrant art scene that define the city today have their roots in that turbulent period. It was a time when a generation dared to imagine a different world and fought to make it a reality. Right here in this small Midwestern town, Ann Arbor became more than just a place on a map. It became a symbol of the passion and power of youth. It was a city on the brink, a glimpse into a future that was being written in real time by the very people living it. Thanks so much for joining me on this trip back in time. If you found this glimpse into Ann Arbor's past fascinating, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history. Let me know in the comments what other historical moments you'd like to explore. See you in the next video.